Hello, I'm David Chaston with 90 at 9, brought to you in association with the Bank of New Zealand. This is where you get everything you need to know in 90 seconds at 9 o'clock, starting now with news that the Chinese currency continues to be allowed to strengthen against the US dollar, and it is now under 6.6 to the dollar for the first time. That represents an appreciation of their currency of 3% in the past 4 months. Part of this is to blunt US criticism ahead of Premier Hu's visit. Part is an unavoidable export of Chinese inflation, and all of it is recognising the weakness of the US dollar. But is it enough? By comparison, the New Zealand dollar has risen 8% against the US dollar in the same period. Across the Tasman, their unemployment level fell to 5%, ahead of Queensland and New South Wales floods, but job growth was surprisingly poor. There will be a huge demand for labour for their flood clean-up, and that will exert pressure in New Zealand. Adding to the local pressure is that TradeMe is reporting a big surge in job ads here. We have our own disaster that is requiring people for recovery work. All that will come with rising incomes in 2011, which will help domestic demand. Moodys has been assessing its AAA rated sovereigns and has pointed the finger at France, Germany, the UK and the US, saying they must control government spending. Australia, Singapore and New Zealand were also included in that review, and they generally like what they see of how New Zealand is handling this period. They are making no downgrade threats here at all. In Europe, the ECB is threatening to raise interest rates there, focusing on counting the inflationary effects of what they have called irresponsible fiscal policies. This will cause a big fight with their politicians and their voters, who seem very reluctant to face up to what has to be done. Strikes and reaction are the order of the day in Europe's flashpoints. I'm David Chaston, and that was 90 at 9, brought to you in association with the Bank of New Zealand.